Your trip there, buddy.
Oh, dude, it's been great here in Miami, man. What a great game last night for the San Antonio Spurs, baby. Lots of Spurs fans in the building there at the Kaseya Center.
It's nice, dude.
They were showing them on air on the game, and they did not look that excited at a certain point to the game. And they're like, "What else can the Spurs do to sit there and make these guys smile?"
You know, the fans there in Miami were so appreciative to be watching Wemby out there. They were just in awe of him. It was funny talking to Heat fan all around me, just there going, man, that guy's amazing. That guy's unreal.
Yeah, I heard you have a story to tell about one fan in particular. Now, were there any witnesses there?
Chica met him, but didn't see the interaction. No, I completely forgot about that. That was so funny. I called Joe last night, going, "You mf'er, you mf'er."
Yeah. I don't know. No video. Did it happen? Did it happen, Joe?
I don't know.
Or did he go up to him and say, "You know who I am"?
You know who I am. Oh.
You know who I am.
Trade seats with me. I like your
The
seat.
show travels, baby.
Yeah, it does. That it does.
Good Lord.
Man, I had a great time over there in Florida, man. Crestview is nice, Mike. You know what I was telling
Really?
Sean? I went over there and I was starting my diet, right? So I was able to eat healthy over there in Crestview. I told him, bro, they have nothing but healthy options out here, dude. I'm
Exactly.
like, man, I come to San Antonio. It's Fat City, bro.
Oh my God!
Puro
Now
mantequilla all over the
you
place.
sounded like
dude.
me, baby. You sounded like
Kinda
me.
Barkley, man. Jeez.
Area 210, where the dreams don't fade. From the river walk nights to the Alamo shade, we rise together through the highs and the lows. Area 210, oh, it's the life that we chose.
We're rising together on a Victory Tuesday. This is the Area 210 podcast powered by P.F. Chang's La Cantera and Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio. In the 210, you see our good buddy Sean Quintero from P.F. Chang's La Cantera. Joe holding it down as producer extraordinaire, as co-host as well. I'm in the 305, or as Vanilla Ice would like to say, the A1A, baby. That's where I'm at last night's game from the Spurs and Miami Heat. Spurs ran the Heat out of their own gym, 136 to 111. Spurs now 54-18 on the season, 10 games to go in the regular season. Wemby needs to play 7 more games to be considered in the running for Defensive Player of the Year and MVP. And last night after the game, he came out and stated his case once again that he belongs in the consideration for MVP. Not only belongs, Wemby says he deserves MVP at this point. Joe, how you doing today, my man? Welcome back from Florida as well.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I had a road trip, dude, over the weekend. Drove all the way from San Antonio to Crestview, Florida. So Crestview, Florida was real nice. Kind of like where you go and retire. It's a military city and all that. It was really nice just to hang out there and check out all the, I guess, all of what the little city has to offer. And then I went for a little hike in the woods that they have out there, right? The piney woods and all that. Bro, I'm over there without a care in the world, and I come across a freaking bear crossing. Talking to the locals, they're like, "Yeah, man, you got to be careful out here on the trail. There's black bear." I'm like, "What the hell?"
Dude, Florida's scary, baby. Florida's scary. You got alligators, you got bears, you got weird
Yeah.
people, you got gun nuts. I mean, it's crazy over here. Sean,
But
how you
you know
doing
what
today,
you
my
don't
man?
have, Mike? You know what you don't have over there in Crestview, Florida?
What's
A
that?
lot of fat food, dude. Like I was eating lean out there, bro. I was eating lean. There was things to do outside, walk around. I was
Yep.
like, nice. This is nice, dude. I liked it.
There's good places to eat here.
No,
Come on, man.
my God.
No, there isn't. And Sean, you know,
You gotta watch
yesterday,
what you pick.
Sean, yesterday I went out there and I posted some photos in our group chat text, and I said, "Hey, I think the area outside of the Miami Heat arena is a little bit nicer than the Frost Bank Center."
Yeah, I was checking out those photos.
It looked
It was
nice.
amazing, man. They've got a waterfront, they've got a Ferris wheel, they've got like their version of Market Square. But as Chico was pointing out, everything was affordable, man. Everything was $2, $3, $4, $5. Everything was not like $20, like marked up like they do over at Market Square. But it was fun times over there. It was a great time last night to watch the Spurs play the Heat. I was kind of feeling myself for a minute there because, you know, Joe, you and I have done this show before. We've been doing this show for 2
Yeah.
years. And I'll go to a game, a UT game, like a Longhorn football game, and someone will say, "Hey, man, I recognize you from the Area 210 podcast. I recognize you from Sports Star, whatever, back in the day." And that's cool. We go to Houston, Toyota Center, same thing. Go to Dallas, the same thing. So I told Cheek, I said, wouldn't it be great if somebody recognized me in Miami, in the 305, as Pitbull would say, and walk into the arena. Within 1 or 2 minutes of being in the arena, I'm standing there. This guy strikes up a conversation with me, and he says that he's a listener to the show, and that he loves our Spurs coverage and all that stuff. And I'm like, man, that's amazing, man. That the Area 210 podcast goes all the way to Florida for Spurs fans out there. And then he deflated the balloon for me a little bit, but he said, "Keep up the great work, Joe."
Yeah, he called me. Mike called me. He goes, "You son of a bitch." Oh God, dude.
That was great, man. That was great. But here's the thing, man. Spurs went off into Miami last night. I know we're going to get into the game, but remember last week I said the Spurs have a superstar for the first time ever, and so many of y'all were giving me crap about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have video on my Twitter account that I posted about 30 minutes ago where I'm showing a line of people, hundreds of people lined up, hundreds, to get a glimpse of Victor Wembanyama after they beat the Heat's ass last night. The guy's a rock star.
Okay, but superstar, and I think there's a difference between superstar and megastar. I don't know. In my opinion.
Whatever it is.
I mean, I would sit there and say that people will be lined up to see LeBron James, back in the days. Or you could sit there and say the same thing about David Robinson when he first came out.
You can't. You cannot say David Robinson. You cannot say David Robinson. There are only a couple of superstars in this entire league. LeBron James is one of them. Giannis is one of them. And that is it. Luka Doncic is not a superstar. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, even though MVP, not a superstar. Wemby is one of them. He's going to be on the level of Jordan superstar-esque. He's going to be on the level of Magic Johnson superstar-esque, where it transcends the sport. And that's the thing. And people gave me crap about it because they're like, well, Duncan's a top 5 player of all time. I believe that too.
So
you
this
know
was
what?
the line that you're talking about?
Yeah, that's insane.
That's aligned along the Spurs bus. To the bus, Joe.
To get a glimpse of El Wembeyazo.
And that was an hour after the game. I mean, it was insane. The number of people and the people around the stands coming up and saying, Mike, not saying by my name, but saying, dude, they see me in a Spurs jersey. They say Chica, our daughter, my mother-in-law in a Spurs gear saying, man, that Wemby, dude, my God, we've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And for them to come out and just the attendants taking the tickets, every time they'd go by, they go like, man, that Wemby's so good. And I went to a restaurant outside of the arena, leading up to the game, and these guys coming up and going, hey, man, we can't wait to see Wemby. We can't see. I never got that experience when I would wear a Manu jersey out and about, when I would wear a Tim Duncan jersey out and about, or a Tony Parker one, or even a Kawhi Leonard one. Wemby's the first time that we've ever had an actual super duper star. And I don't think Spurs fans understand the gravity of it all yet, because we're like, oh, well, we have these players that are like, very to themselves, very humble. Humble my ass. Wemby last night after the game did what, Joe? Did what, Sean? He demanded basically the MVP award. So much so that it perked the ears up of all the people at ESPN. And I don't know if we have that sound, if we're going to play that sound.
I was just showing my favorite picture from last night's game.
Oh, yeah. So it was EDM night. So not only was it Miami Vice night there at the Kaseya Center there in Miami, but it was EDM night. So they handed out all these glasses to people. That's me and Cheek out there. And they had an EDM concert. That's like electronic dance music.
Yeah.
So every commercial, every timeout was just techno music, baby. It was just
Dude,
it was rave music.
You got to find the photo of Sean Elliott when they put him in the Miami Vice jacket. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
All right, we have the sound from from El Wembiazo. And this was courtesy of Don Harris, but also one of our listeners, Black Bucket, went ahead and went in the chat late last night and said, hey, this could be a good topic for today's show. So we're going to go ahead and give Black Bucket credit for pointing us to the video, courtesy of Don Harris. So I'll go ahead and play this for everybody.
There is a debate, that should be, even though I think I should lead the race. And I'm trying to make sure that until the end of the season, there's no debate anymore. 3 arguments. Yeah. My first one would be that defense is 50% of the game and that it is undervalued so far in the MVP race because I believe I'm the most impactful player defensively in the league. Second argument would be that we almost swept OKC in the season, and we dominated them 3 times with their real team and 4 times with more rotation players. And
that's Wemby right there stating his case, basically saying, look, I'm bringing it defensively, that the defensive player of the year award is wrapped up.
Offense impact.
Audio issues. Can you fix that?
There we go. I fixed it.
Okay, so basically,
We're good.
Wemby's coming out and saying that people don't give enough credit to how great people can be defensively. And then when it comes to the MVP award, defense needs to be considered, not just can they put up 30 points per game. Wemby doesn't put up 30 points per game, not because he can't, but because he's not asked to.
He also said the same thing about offense, though. That is offense, it's not just about points you put up. It's all the other stuff that you do as well. We just didn't play the last part.
Right, yeah, he comes out and says, I'm bringing it offensively too, right? And then the shot at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander coming out and saying, we've played the Thunder 5 times and beaten their asses 4 of those times, and 3 of them, they were fully, they had all their players. One of them, SGA didn't play, right? So he goes, I'll give you credit. That one, they weren't fully there. But the other times, we beat their ass. Stephen A. Smith on First Take this morning all but wet his pants at this reaction, saying that conversation piece right there, the lobbying that Wemby's doing for MVP, because before all this, they asked him the question, how long have you been thinking about MVP? He didn't say the last month. He didn't say the last 2 months. He says the last 16 years. And Stephen A. Smith on First Take this morning coming out and saying that he has a vote for MVP, and that last night, his rankings, he's changed his vote to Wemby because he goes, Wemby pointed out the obvious, which was not only am I great like the other 2 candidates, Luka Doncic and SGA, but we've beaten their ass. So it's interesting, man. Wemby lobbying, that's something Duncan would never have done. That's something that David Robinson would never have done. But you know what? Superstars do superstar things, and that's what he's doing. God, it's exciting, man. You know what? I haven't been this amped up since 2014, and I can't get over it, man. You have to play 7 of the next 10 games. Spurs are 54-18.
They were also talking about Wemby on Get Up as well, and that's one thing that we're not kind of used to, how the national media has gravitated towards picking up sound bites and video from Wemby. So let's hear what they kind of had to say on Get Up about Wemby.
That he and Chet genuinely don't dislike each other. See, for those of you who are too young to remember this, there was a time in the NBA where players talked like this.
Talk about
and
it,
they hated each other.
Talk about it, Greeny.
Let's get to it.
Talk about it.
They didn't hate each other like anything terrible was going to happen off the court, but there was legitimate dislike.
Well, I grew up in Detroit. They didn't work out together. Well, I grew up in Detroit where a man was kept off the dream team because of legitimate hate.
And they walked off the floor before the game was over.
Damn straight. And I ain't mad about it either.
No, exactly. That's exactly right, because you're a bad sport. But that's a different conversation. Here's the point that I'm making is that, so let's get to the second part. The single best thing
bring it back
that has happened to the NBA
bring it back.
in recent memory is the fact that Victor Wembanyama has that mentality.
Yes.
The fact that he thinks the way he does. He came over from France. We all knew how tall he was. We quickly figured out how gifted and skilled he was. Anyone can see that. But what I didn't know, I don't know how anyone would have known, is that he's got that mentality. He has the mentality of a player from the 70s, for crying out loud, which I'm the only one here old enough to remember. He's got that kind of nasty in him, and that is the best thing I can say has happened to the NBA that he and Chet genuinely.
you know,
That's Mike Greenberg throbbing on ESPN's First Take.
Yeah.
with Wemby,
Get up, brother.
I don't think his offense should discredit like his MVP run either, because when you sit there and you see like all those other players that are averaging over 10 points a game, you know, when they have what is it, the number 9 now, right? So it's his spacing that allows all these other players, because, you know, put someone else in there, they're not going to average at least 10 points a game, not all of them. And then you sit there and think, like, what else has he done to sit there and put himself in that MVP race? You know, he's the one that brought back excitement to the All-Star game. He's made his a claim that he wants to sit there and be involved in not only that, but in the dunk contest as well. And who knows, maybe he'll put himself in the 3-point contests to do as well. So, you know, there's just so much that he's brought back excitement wise to the league, and I think it's great.
The NBA All-Star game, one of those, he said, you know what, I'm going to go here and I'm going to go into the game and I'm really going to go ahead and make everybody elevated.
Yeah.
Right. Because I want to go ahead and make it act like it counts for something. And he went in there and he started trying, and then everybody else is like, well, you know what, if he's going to do it, so am I.
Yeah. Except for his teammates, the stars. What do they do? Put their head between their legs and go sit on the bench.
They showed their bellies.
Yeah, they showed their bellies.
You know, Wemby last night, 26 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists. I mean, exciting assists, 5 blocks, and things that don't show up on the box score, man. I mean, the number of altered shots, the number of times players drove in and were like, hell with this and come on back. It's unbelievable what he's been able to do. I mean, it's not to discredit SGA, who has scored 20 points per game in every game he has played this season. It's not to discredit Luka Doncic, who, you know, is trying to carry the Lakers to a 3 seed. It's just at the end of the day, if you had to poll 100 fans nationwide and say you could watch any of these 3 guys play, and they're not Laker fans, not Spurs fans, not Thunder fans, just fans, Pistons fans, Heat fans, you know, fans of the Mavericks. You could choose. You could watch any of these 3 players play. Who would you pick? And I bet you 90% of them would say Wemby. And that's the superstar of them all. That's how great and talented he is, and that's how revered he's going to become. Because as Sean points out, you know, he made the teams bring it. He made the players bring it during the All-Star game weekend, man. And we can stop the whole debate as to whether or not Wemby's generational or not. He is, you know, generational here. Every apology form needs to be signed. But the Spurs are 6 games away from winning 60 games this season. 60. See, I mean, look at what Wemby does here. Not only is he lobbying for himself, no different than an actor no different than Michael B. Jordan trying to become best actor at the Oscars, right? He's lobbying for the award. But for him, when the Spurs got to 50 wins, and we were all as fans celebrating, man, 50 wins, man. First time since 29, whatever it was, right? 2017. We were celebrating that. What did he say, Joe?
He wants 60.
He goes, 50 sounds nice, but you know what sounds better than that? 60. I mean, Joe, talk to me about the mentality of that, Joe.
Yeah,
like,
he's never happy. And that he's not happy with just meeting the status quo in his eyes. You know, 50 wins is great. You know, he does appreciate, you know, that everybody's recognizing how good this team is. But he also wants to go ahead and aspire to be more, something more. Great. He doesn't want to be good. He wants to be great. And that's a good mentality to have. And if you look at this graphic, courtesy of NBA on NBC, the Spurs have the best record in the NBA since January the 1st. They're 29-9, Mike. 29-9. And what happened when you had shared something too by one of our friends, Colin Reed, that the Spurs were like 36-16 54 days ago. And now what's their record? Like 54 or something like that?
54-18, man.
Like, geez.
54-18. Remarkable. Sean, you know, team sports, man. You know, when you have a leader like that, there are silent leaders. But if you look at a silent leader like Tim Duncan, he was a silent leader of a group of players that were veterans. You know, he had Tony and Manu. He had players that were 7, 8, 9, 10-year veterans that they brought to the title in 2014, right? That 2014 team. You know, he played with the Boris Diaz of the world and that type of player, the Robert Ory's. That's the kind of leader that the Spurs needed then. But when you have a team when you have a 20-year-old Stephon Castle and a 19-year-old Dylan Harper and a 19-year-old Carter Bryant and then you have Keldon and Vassell in their mid-20s and Champagne's 23. No different than Duncan was the right leader for the moment because he had for that roster. Sean, wouldn't you say that maybe he's the right leader for this young group because they're all in it together at this young age, man? They're all similar ages. I mean, I don't have the veterans, but like who else would motivate these guys the way that this guy does?
Yeah, I mean, I would say yes, but quite honestly, I think he's the right leader for any team. And I think for your team, you're right. But I also think that you have the right coach as well, because people have given crap on Mitch for quite some time. But Mitch is a smart person. And to sit there and takes a player like Wemby and make him not just great on the court, but great off the court as well, I think he's done a tremendous job with that as well. One thing I wanted to sit there and talk about was, we do got a super chat.
Yeah, we got to address.
Yeah, I know you were trying to get to that, Joe.
Yeah.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
So here we go. $4.99 incoming super chat from Sam Salinas. Thank you so much, Sam, for the support. We appreciate you. And he's saying, Mike's logic, the only superstars in the history of the NBA are Jordan, LeBron, Wemby, Kobe. Well, probably isn't because of his overrated skills. Chancla.
Give him the chancla.
Chancla. He paid for the chancla, so he gets the chancla. We're going to give you the chancla, Mike. You have to get it all the way over there.
Probably walking around with that. But to go off what you're saying, I think it's good. I think it's good, when they interviewed Dylan Harper the other day and he was talking about like what it's like, coming in as a number 2 drafted player, sitting on the bench and watching all these other people you're drafted before getting all this playing time. I think he was very humble and very, very appreciative of having the teammates that he has. The last 2 games he started, his true shooting percentage is 77.1. That's amazing. And then you sit there and look at the last 10 games, it's 70%. 70%. I think Dylan Harper, Castle, and you can even say the same thing for Julian Champagnie. Julian Champagnie would not be having the breakout year he's had, on a year that's going to come up where he's about to get paid without the spacing that Victor Wembanyama creates. He just wouldn't.
Yeah.
And the thing with Julian Champagnie is that even the national media picked up on it and said he's the best value in the NBA right now.
At $3 million, I would say so.
Dude.
And you look at last year, right? So maybe Victor isn't, having that breakout season just yet. I think he was still super great, but as far as for his teammates, it wasn't there. So when we used to sit there and complain for the seasons prior and looking at Champagnie, and some of y'all would argue that he's just getting cardio out there, right? I don't think he had the, the spacing that allowed him to get that confidence in making those shots. And now this guy's running down the court doing pull-up threes and knocking him down. So, and that's all due to what Victor has created. So, yeah, Mike, what you're saying, like, I think he's great for the team. I think he's the right person, for the team as far as being a leader, because they could have went out for Giannis. They could have grabbed other players, but they didn't. They stayed true to what they said. We're going to build our team, and that's what they've done.
The Spurs players like Julian Champagnie, we jokingly called him cardio because for a while there, he didn't know what his role was. And I think that the one thing that you can say about the Spurs is that every single player has a defined role. It's not one of those those years where, number 10 is right out there trying to play point guard and Lonnie Walker is trying to figure out how many minutes he's going to get. Those days are over. Every single player has a role on the team. They know when they're going to go into the game. They know when they're going to come out. They know how many shots are going to take. They know how many attempts are going to make at a variety of different ways of playing the game. And it's a comfort to them to know that. Fernandez and I, we like going to these road games, and we like talking to other fans from other teams, right? And the number 2 player that they were marveling at last night, let me ask you this question. Who do you think they marveled at the most? We saw Wemby, right? That was the Spurs player they marveled the most. Who do you think was the second most oohs and ahs that they were getting from last night?
Probably Castle
or Harper.
Mm-hmm.
It was Harper.
Yeah.
The basketball heads around me, the ones that, that know ball, that probably played college ball and all that stuff around me, they were like, dude, that Dylan Harper is a stud. And it's amazing because, he's the backup, he's the third guard or the fourth guard if you consider Vassell guard. And everyone around is going, they got that guy too? And it's a spoil of riches. And, Brian Wright deserves his flowers when it comes to that. And you know what? Mitch Johnson deserves his flowers because he's coaching out there. He's not rolling the ball out there and hoping that Wemby does the best. He's coaching out there. He's doing the roles. And speaking of roles, by the way, Harrison Barnes last night, I mean, he looked good, dude.
He lit it up.
Harrison Barnes looked good. Bam Adebayo. I mean, he was locking up Bam. All-star Bam. 35, 36-year-old Harrison Barnes locking down an all-star. And you could tell the frustration. Like, there was, and let me ask you guys this question. When you guys go to games, like everyone was telling me that this was the perfect game for me to go on the road to. I'm here in Miami because our daughter has a medical residency over here, right? So we're she's in medical residency. She goes to school here basically, and so I kind of picked this week to go because I wanted to go to the Spurs game. I was like, oh, they're playing Miami. Let's make it all a family thing. What is more exciting, to go to a game and see Wemby just dominate and win by 30 or 25 points, but be up by 30 something at one point? Or do you want that nail biter of a game where they pull it out the end and all that stuff? Man, I had the time of my life last night, just laughing it up, seeing Wemby go out there and play and ball out, Castle and Barnes and Fox and Harper, Keldon going off for 21 points. I had so much fun. I'd rather see an ass kicking sometimes than a nail biter, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see the Spurs dominate, and they should have dominated the Heat the way they did, because the Heat are just not on the same level as the Spurs, right? And I went into the Heat spaces after the game, and they were in shambles, man. They sounded like we did, Spurs fans, years ago, where you know that your team isn't very good. They're not really going anywhere. The only consolation prize for Miami Heat fans is, hey, maybe we'll make it into the play-in. But the majority of them were upset because they're like, we need some talent here. We need some people on this team, because they know that their team's not good enough to compete yet.
Yeah.
And they sounded exactly like us, saying the same things, questioning the front office and looking forward to what? The upcoming NBA draft. Are they going to make any trades? Who are they going to pick? They need some help. They need these, positions filled out there on the court. And I'm like, damn, that was us like not even a season ago, questioning everything, now look at us.
If you watch the start of the game, right, I thought the Heat came out and they were doing something like they were spacing it out so much that it was keeping Victor away from the inside, and they were getting to the basket, or they were making some shots outside, right, and they get away from it. And I just the thing that goes back to the Spurs and how they stay true to who they are and how they're going to sit there and approach each single game. They're going to sit there and beat you up physically and mentally. You got Harper pushing around people as well, Keldon now. I think that's great. Yeah, and you can see like who was it that was saying hi man over here, saying, he's giving the you're too small thing at Hero, and they were going back and forth because when Hero knocked down a three, he went back right at Harper as well.
Yeah.
So the Spurs, man, playing amazing ball, good team ball. Do you have the clip of Carter Bryant's block?
I don't think I do.
No. Oh my.
Oh no, I do.
The Dua Lipa block, he was levitating.
He was. He was.
He got up there,
was
man.
Sick, man.
Let me go ahead and get it.
Yeah, that was a sick play, but I like the comment that Black Bucket made a little while ago saying that you guys are wrong. Champagne at $3 million is not the best bargain for the Spurs. It's Wemby at 13. Point taken.
Hey, yes, sir.
You know what? This is the block y'all are talking about. Look at this, man.
Courtesy of Peacock, by the way.
Jeez, bro.
Yeah. It's like Harper was behind him, just holding him up.
Or
like, who's that, Castle?
Levitating in midair, bro. Look at that.
There were about 7 or 8 block attempts. Of that one that Wemby had on Norman Powell when Norman Powell was trying to use the rim as to block Wemby, and he got him anyway. Dude, Joe, I'm standing there 14th row screaming, "Got him! Got him!" Like, name another player in NBA history who can do that, who can get their hand under the rim and still get that block from behind.
This is the block. This is the block right here.
Courtesy of Peacock.
Oh no, let's see.
No,
I thought they showed
you
it.
had it. You had it. I think it's right at the beginning.
Oh, there it is. There's the block in the beginning.
From behind. Bam.
Wow.
The
what do you
front of
do with
mind
that
and
power?
Side of the basket, guard.
Jeez.
just the other side of the basket, man, chasing him down. But there were about 3 or 4 other plays out there where the guys next to me were laughing so hard because, you have a block attempt and it looked like a men's volleyball game, the men's volleyball match where you had these players trying to spike the ball. You had Carter Bryant jumping up, and behind him you have Vassell jumping up, and behind Vassell you have Keldon, and behind Keldon you have Castle, and you have Harper, all jumping for these block attempts. And the guys next to me were like, dude, how many guys go for these blocks on this team?
Harper
And
had 2 blocks.
it was amazing. They were just climbing up to the heavens to try to block shots all day long. The athleticism of this team, and Joe, you and I called it earlier in the season when the season first started,
No.
when we said that the hallmark of this team, the calling card of this team is going to be the defense because, as we both pointed out, Wemby, generational defender. Fox led the league in steals a couple of years ago.
No.
Castle's a lockdown defender and should make an all-NBA defensive team this year. Dylan
You know
Harper's a really good defender. Luke Cornett plays defense. Keldon's a good defender. Vassell can play defense. Champagne's gotten better at D. Harrison Barnes can lock you down from time to time. It's like you have all these good defensive players. There's not one weak defender on the team. The days of having Bryn Forbes out there are over. Remember Bryn
Yeah.
Forbes, Marco Bellinelli?
Oh, God, dude, that was
Those
the worst
guys-
lineup ever, dude.
Those guys were where it's like, yeah, they can knock down a 3 from time to time, but if it ain't falling in, man, they were basura at
Yep.
defense. And so it's nice to see a team that can come together defensively, and
Yeah.
they don't have to cheat on each other, man. They don't have to you always have those teams that you have to constantly double team. The Spurs can go man up on you, and
they can.
and the help defense is just the Revis Island that is Victor Wembanyama, in the sense that you don't want to throw in his direction, you don't want to go in his direction. So many plays were started last night, Joe, where they ran up and they came back out. They ran up and they came back out. That's got to be a stat for. That's got to be a stat for something, man. Give them a quarter of a block, something.
Let's also talk about the Spurs clinching their first Southwest Division title since
Oh wow!
2017. That's this graphic is courtesy of Yahoo Sports, and these are big, let's say, moments for a Spurs fan, right? Because last season compared to where they're at this season, I mean, they're already at what, 53, 54 wins?
54 and 18, 10 games ago.
They're just one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now. And you're looking at this team and everybody's starting to take notice and be like, you know what? Maybe this team has it all to win the title. Wouldn't that be something if they're there in the NBA finals, So there's a lot of talk about the San Antonio Spurs right now being so young, but playing so well. And what is the other team that comes to mind when you think of, man, they're so young, but they're playing so well? OKC. And right now, the Spurs are designed to do one thing, and that's to beat OKC when they're at full strength. Wemby gets up for these games with OKC because he wants to go out there and prove a point and just humiliate Chet Holmgren and show that we're not the same.
He lives for it, baby.
They were talking about the Spurs and clinching their first playoff spot, right? And I don't know. I think it was Sean Elliott saying, they just got to get past that first round. They got to get a taste of what it's like, and then after that, it's just basketball.
Yeah.
And I think, what's up?
I was going to ask Joe to post the standings if he has them.
Yeah, the latest NBA standings. I'll go ahead
and go ahead and go, Sean. I apologize.
Yeah. Hey, no, one thing is, were you sitting where the players were at behind them, or were you on the opposite side?
Opposite side.
Opposite. I was going to say, when they took out Bam out of Bio, did you hear what they were saying between him and the coach? But apparently not, because you were on the other side.
Yeah. What I found interesting was I was being kind of a Nesio in the stands, and I was chanting Wemby P whenever Wemby was making dunks or alley-oops, which, by the way, I don't know if you watched SportsCenter this morning. You know how they have the top 10 plays from the night before? Wemby was 4 of them.
Damn.
He was 4 of the 10.
Hey, were you doing some of the Jackal chants where you were out there?
Oh, I have no idea how the Chackle chants go. Was it going ole, 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 stupid, stupid?
You
No,
know
but
what's
I was chanting MVP, right? So I was chanting MVP, and then there were these guys on the other side of the court, I'm on the 3-point line, like on the Heat side of the court, like on the Heat side of the bench, and then I could hear these Spurs fans chanting MVP also, kind of behind the backboard where the Spurs are. And before you knew it, this was during a free throw session, right? You can hear probably about 25, 30 people chanting MVP, right? And what was funny about that was the crowd started to boo.
no.
Like they tried to boo out the chants, and I started laughing. I was like, "Oh my god, we got under their skin a little bit, man. We
You're
got
the
under their."
standings, Mike, from the Western Conference as of today. And right now
Okay,
you still have the Thunder at the top.
so the Spurs have already clinched a playoff berth into the top 6. Who's the number 5 team? I'm looking at it's Minnesota, right?
Timberwolves at
What's
44
their
and
record?
28.
44 and 20. 44 and 28, which means the Spurs have the season advantage over them, right?
Yes.
So 44 and 28. So the best record that they can do is 54 and 28, right?
Yeah.
Right.
With the games left.
So do you know what that means, Joe? The Spurs clinched home court advantage for the first round of the playoffs last night.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
So
You know,
the
look
worst
at
we can
this,
do is
Mike.
4. The worst we can do is 4.
The Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Rockets are all separated by a game and a half. So that's a tightly contested race from 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you get down further, 7, 8, 9, 10, the play in and all that, the teams are pretty much like even at 10, 9, and 8. The Suns have a better record than the other teams there at 40 wins, 40 and 32. If the playoffs were to start, Mike, the Thunder would draw more than likely the Clippers, and the Spurs are going to have their first round opponent be the Suns if everything stands pat, right? But would the Suns really be a bad matchup for the Spurs? I don't think so. I think the Suns would probably take one game, but the Spurs are a better team. They would actually be able to dispatch the Suns and move on. Now, the second round opponent, that's where we get a bit more interesting, because at that point in time, the Spurs could arguably be facing maybe the Lakers.
Right. It'd be the winner of the Lakers Rocket series as it stands right now. And by the way, Lakers have won 9 in a row. They lost last night to Detroit, despite Detroit not having Cade Cunningham. Detroit still pulled off that win yesterday. They're making Luka Doncic do everything. Last night, LeBron James had the worst offensive performance he had in his career, in the sense that he didn't score his first point until 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. He did finish with double digits, with 12 or 13 points, but he went 2.5 quarters, more than 2.5 quarters, without scoring a point. So this is a team that's really become Doncic and Reeves, and LeBron is just there. I don't know what LeBron's doing. LeBron was one stat away from getting a triple-double. He had 13 points, 10 assists and 9 rebounds, but essentially was a non-factor, if that makes any sense. But
look at what Black Bucket was saying here. He had a good comment here. I'm going to go ahead and show it. He was saying basically that the Spurs, he goes, this is the way it breaks down. He goes, another win plus a Lakers loss, and the Spurs are going to clinch that number 2 seed.
Right.
It's all in the math and the way things break down. But that's it. If the Lakers lose, and you should be if you're a Spurs fan, you should be a fan of the Lakers losing at least one more game here to help the Spurs out. And the Spurs just need to win another game, and that's it. There's no way they can catch them at this point.
Yeah, Hyman asking a really good question here. Do the Spurs need to start resting certain players? If they're not gonna go for the 1 seed, and as great as the Spurs have been, 22-2 the last 24 games, we've caught up 0 games in that stretch of time, because you've seen Oklahoma City go 12-1 the last 13 games. So it's just one of those things where those are the 2 best teams by far. It used to be Oklahoma City and 2 through 7 were kind of on the same tier. It's not that way anymore. Spurs and Thunder are tier 1. Everybody else is tier 2 or 3 behind them, right? You look at these teams, Joe. Anthony Edwards can go off on any night for 50 points, right? And can steal games. So can Steph Curry. But can they do that for a 7-game series against the Spurs? I don't see that.
No,
I don't see the Rockets. The Rockets are not disciplined enough to take on this Spurs team. They don't have a point guard. The Lakers are not deep enough. The Spurs are going to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, the only team that can maybe upend that is the experience of the Denver Nuggets. But who else scares you in the Western Conference at this point? After last
not
night's
anybody.
blowout, are we missing a team there, Sean?
No, I don't think so. I don't at this point.
Craziness, man.
And look at what JHNSB is saying. He says, resting players is a stupid idea. Once regular season ends, they get about 2 weeks off before the playoffs start. But here's the thing with that, too, is that you don't necessarily want to rest players, but you can go ahead and dial back the minutes if you're not going to go ahead and have them as DNPs. The second thing with that is you want your players to be healthy, because that's one of the things that's the X factor going into the playoffs is having a healthy roster. Because after that 82-game gamut that is the regular season, everybody's dealing with some type of an injury. Players are banged up, but if you can be there in the playoffs healthier than most teams, that's an advantage to you.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they should rest the players. I think you're right. Limiting the minutes would be best, because you want your players to go in, you know, with a lot of confidence going in. Resting your players and then losing games, I don't think that's
just let them play 15 minutes or something, you know.
Yeah, during the NBA playoffs, there's a little bit of a break there because they have to do the play-in tournament, right? So it's not like the playoffs just up and start when the season ends. They give them a few days. The Spurs have already been doing that, man. You know, Dylan Harper missed a couple of games with a calf injury, but wasn't really a calf injury. Luke Cornett's been sitting out. You know, they rested Wemby, about a week ago or so, and that was just typical load management. But man, the Spurs are in a really good position right now. Wemby needs to play 7 more games to be the MVP or Defensive Player of the Year. By the way, none of the candidates right now for these awards have hit 65 games either. You know, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander needs to play 5 of the last 10 games or something to that effect in order to qualify as well, because he could go down with an injury. By the way, I was looking at the FanDuel stats. Keldon Johnson, who had 21 points last night, if I'm not mistaken, had fallen to 4th in the defensive player, the 6th man of the year candidacy according to FanDuel and DraftKings Sportsbook. He's back up to 2nd place, and not only that, he's now super close to 2nd place. And guess what? The person that's up ahead of him right now is the one that kicked their ass last night, in Jaime Jaquez. So they have him, they have Naz Reid as 3 of the potential 6 men of the year. Wouldn't it be great? Also, Mitch Johnson has moved into 3rd in the odds for Coach of the Year as well. So the Spurs are going to have candidates for all sorts of things. The one thing that I think the Spurs will get, Defensive Player of the Year, is kind of it's in the bag if Wemby gets 64 games played. Yeah. It's in the bag.
He's already locked it in.
Dude, the Spurs are out there like an election, going out there to different cities, just sitting there saying, hey, I should be the MVP. I should be Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I think we're having some issues with Cricket Wireless over there with Miguelito.
Yeah. Hey, did you know that like Keldon Johnson too is the only Spurs player as far as TS percent that on the top 25? He's at number 24.
Really?
Yeah, the only Spurs for the season.
Yeah, we'll get Mike if he comes back on here. Yeah, I think he's in a dead zone or something. But either way, the Spurs talk will continue. I'm going to go ahead and show this graphic here on screen, and there's Mike. Oh, he bounced out, so I think he's having some problems. There's only 2 players. Yeah. This is going to be courtesy of the San Antonio Spurs official X. It says, in the NBA with 4,000 points and 600 blocks. And those are the 2 players, Dave Robinson and Victor Wembanyama.
But Dave Robinson's not a superstar.
Oh, yeah. According to Mike, right, Mike? According to you.
Only 2 players in NBA history.
Dave Robinson is an all-time great, one of the top 20, 25 players of NBA history. Was never a superstar, man. No one got all hyped up to watch David Robinson play, dude. Even though he was a gazelle and he's one of the most exciting players I've ever seen, he was never a superstar. All he had was what, Sprite? Sprite. Yeah, he had Sprite and like some shade. He had Nike. Gillette.
Nike. Yeah. No, he had Nike. Yeah, Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. Remember that?
It was not as he was what, the 15th most popular NBA player.
They're also in the social media like there is now.
What about his movie cameos? Mike forgets.
Oh yeah, in the movie Eddie. The movie Eddie.
Mike.
With Whoopi Goldberg.
I think you're
Avery Johnson being called a roach
part.
in that movie.
Don't lose any listeners. He
was never a superstar. He was never a superstar, dude.
Mike.
He was never, dude. There have been in the NBA, the last 30 years, there have been like 10.
The NBA, according to Miguelito.
So let's break this down for you. Okay. David Robinson, NBA player, right?
All-Star Hall of Famer.
All-Star Olympian, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that this guy can go anywhere else, and you said nobody would give a damn, nobody would notice him. But Michael Jimenez goes to Florida and right away gets recognized for being on a show, or goes to the bathroom and gets recognized. Come on, Mike.
What I'm saying is that it's the rock star level of it all. The rock star level of it all is a different type of thing to it all. You could be a great player. I mean, look at the NBA, right? There's a all-star team. We had 24 all-stars this year. Spurs had 2 of them. De'Aaron Fox is one of them. Is De'Aaron Fox a superstar? He's an all-star.
No.
He's an all-star. He's an all-star.
Look at this. Sam Salino says he had Pizza Hut with Rodman. Come on, man. You remember that,
Where's
Mike?
Pizza Hut
Remember.
Out of bounds is the gnome, not the daisies, Tim.
Man, you know who I wanted to see play more? Because I thought when Carter Bryant came out in the game, he was doing, I think, a great job defensively. And then they took him out for a long period of time and didn't put him towards the end. He missed every damn 3-point he took, but still wanted to see him play more minutes, and especially leading into the playoffs, because I think you're gonna need him.
Yeah, Carter Bryant is a hell of a defensive player. He is what we all hoped number 10 would be. And he goes out there and he fits the mold. He fits the culture. And it makes me, and not to kind of like belabor the point of number 10, because he's been gone and whatever, he's just sucking it up in New York. But like, it just shows you there was something behind the scenes going on. I don't think he was liked by the other players, man, to be honest with you. There's something there, but you look at Carter Bryant. Carter Bryant seems to be enjoying himself. He's in the process. He is in the moment, and he's carving out a nice niche for himself right now. I'm not going to say that he's going to be an all-star or a starter one day. I know there's a lot of high hopes from a lot of Spurs fans that he's going to be the next Kawhi or the next this, that, and the other. But he could be a very good player. He could be a very solid rotational player at the very least, and that's at least worth something. At that picking at number 14, a solid rotational player, that's a good pick.
Oh man, I like an overfist. Look up the definition of cap, and you see a picture of MJ.
Nice.
I think one thing going in to the later part of the season that I've seen improvement on the Spurs free throw percentage. I think they've done a better job, especially Castle, who's improved on his free throw percentage. I think he's up to like 83.3%, something like that.
That's a very good point. There was a point in time in the game last night when I was looking at the stats, and the Spurs at that point, I believe it was halftime, they were 17 of 19 from the free throw line. That's a healthy clip. I mean, that's 88% That's very nice. The Spurs were also, between February 1 and now, were the hottest three-point shooting team in the league. They've cooled down the last 2 games, but I mean, they're proving that they can make a three. Castle looks a little bit more comfortable out there shooting the three. But I was so proud of Harrison Barnes last night. You don't get it, man. Just give us 12 to 15 minutes of just veteran leadership out there, and he did it last night.
Hey, they said you're getting your steps in today, Miguelito.
Oh man, I'm burning up over here. It's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably in the 80s right now over here. But
say,
to everyone
Mike,
asking if it's pink Lululemon, this is pink Tommy Bahama, sir.
Tommy Bahama.
Get it right.
I was gonna tell you, Mike. You sent some pictures the other day of the this hotel that you were staying in, right?
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
Really nice, man. You had a really good view of the balcony. You were watching the sunset con Chica. It's good times, man. You're having a good time out there with Chica, enjoying yourself.
Oh, it was great. So we had we stayed at the DoubleTree in Sunny Isles, Miami Beach. And basically, it was a 2-bedroom condo with a living room. The balcony was probably, no lie, 50 to 60 feet long. And it was wide in some areas and went all the way around. It wrapped around the condo. It was 2-bedroom, 2 full bath, had a kitchen. So we did that thing where, we went to the grocery store, went to Publix because there's no HEB over there.
Yeah.
And we bought 4 days worth of groceries, and we ate there breakfast and lunch, and we'd go out one time a night or one time a day for dinner because it's expensive to eat in Miami.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it is.
And it was a great time, man. And we're gonna come back out here 2 more times between now and the end of the year because she graduates in December.
What did you call the pricing that they have in Miami? That they have like a certain thing that they do out there when they charge you for your meal, right? What do they call it?
Oh yeah, they autograt everywhere you go over here. And Sean knows what an autograt is. It's a required tip. So it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter if you go to a Starbucks. It doesn't matter if you go to the hotel, a restaurant. Every single place in Miami Beach, they tell you on the spot, you've been autograted 18%. Anything more, you can't add if you want to. And so whenever they give you the tip thing, you know how they give you in San Antonio, they give you like the tip thing that says 15, 20, 25. It'll say +2, +7, +12 are your options to do on top of the autograd. So they give you that option there.
Jeez.
So Sean, so you've been in the restaurant industry for many, many, many years. What are your thoughts on Miami Beach doing an autograd? Everywhere you go.
Well, they have tourists, and I hate to say it, but sometimes some people go out there and they're spending more money than they should. I don't think it's a bad thing. You're protecting your people, your employees, right? Now, it doesn't mean, I don't know how Miami does it, but I know as far as like here in San Antonio, if you ask for the gratuity to be taken away because you don't feel like the service was up to par, we're required to take it away. So I don't know if it'd be the same thing in Miami where you sit there and you complain, well, I don't mind paying the 18%, but I didn't get, the service I think that it deserves.
Right.
So,
it didn't come out. Hey, last night.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, say 18%. It's not bad. I mean, it's not 20, 25.
It's not.
I was going to tip at least 18 to 20 anyway, But it's funny how they give you the +2, +7, +12.
Mm-hmm. A little bit more on top.
Yeah. If you want to splash the pot a little bit.
Look at this. Joy-Con Drift King is asking, is Mike on an iPhone or Android?
Hey, some people don't want to have gratuity added. One person in point being Joe's favorite server, Dee, would rather you not put gratuity on because she feels like her service is that good that she'll get tipped more.
Yeah. For those who take pride on their job.
Yeah.
Those who take pride on their job. I mean, Gabby was getting more than 18% when she was waitressing. So she'd probably be one of the ones that would agree with that too. Hey, last night was kind of funny. So they have outside the arena here in Miami, they have what's called Bayside. And my wife was like, "What's Bayside?" I was like, "Well, that's where, that's where the kids from Saved by the Bell graduated from, right?" But anyway, this place called Bayside. It's kind of like Market Square, but it's on the beach. And they have restaurants there. Some of them are the chain restaurants like Chili's and Five Guys over there. But then they have local pubs and restaurants there. We had some local restaurants stuff over there. Anyway, we're walking around the shopping center there. It's kind of like a Shopping La Cantera on the water. Like Shopping La Cantera and Market Square had a baby. Anyway, we're walking through and this one guy comes up to me in Portuguese and he's talking to me. And I posted a photo of him on my Twitter account.
God.
So he comes up to me and he comes with a translator and he's pointing on his phone and he's asking the question, "Can you buy me tickets to the Spurs Heat game?" And he didn't
sell you some.
He didn't speak much English, so he's asking me, and it took over an hour for us to get him tickets, man. I sit there and I didn't mind it. I finally got him tickets because apparently the Ticketmaster app is not allowed for people from Brazil. So I got him the tickets, which weren't much. I mean, he had them up in the rafters, $70 a pop. He gave me the money in cash, but I couldn't send him the tickets because because he was blocked because he's a Brazilian resident.
Yeah, you had to get an actual physical ticket printed for him then.
Well, we couldn't do that with Ticketmaster, right?
Oh man!
So this was aftermarket stuff, right? So
You
anyway,
have to
long
bring him
story
in with
short,
you.
yeah. At the end of the day, after about an hour trying to figure this out,
Jeez.
I had to walk him on in, and then walk him basically to. I had to point to like, hey, you're on level 3, hang out over there, 305. And so it was fun. I told Chica thought I was getting annoyed by it all, but I wasn't annoyed. I was excited that he got to watch it, and it was nice having a long conversation with somebody using Google Translate for an hour. He was asking world.
So the first thing you should have said is how much are you willing to pay per ticket? Because
I did.
Oh, you did.
He said
like,
cheapest ticket possible.
Okay.
He said
cheapest seats. No.
Cheapest seat possible. And then I told him, I was like, hey man, if you wanted to be at section like 412, row 35.
$3,000.
No, man, it was like $70, $65. But I got him 5th row upper level for like $70, which wasn't bad, dude. That wasn't bad at all.
Just put it on the American Express, man.
No more cheap seats over here, right, Joe?
Oh no, bro.
No.
Absolutely.
You got to pay $100 or more.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, my tickets were going for about $800 a pop by the time game time happened. And Chico was like, "Do you want to sell these?" Like, nope, we're here. I want to enjoy the game. But fellas, it is noon in Miami Beach. It's time to check out. So I got to let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of the show. Go Spurs, go. Sean, thanks for filling in, brother. But I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll be in studio on Wednesday.
All right, sounds good. Have a safe trip, Mike.
See you, fellas.
See you later.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and kick them out. There we are. So we're gonna go ahead and stop right here, so we can go ahead and give a quick shout out to PF Chang's, proud sponsor of the Area 210, and then we'll be right back. PF Chang's La Cantera, San Antonio's premier destination for dinner, date night, or happy hour. Enjoy one of their signature dishes, such as the Singapore street noodles, sesame chicken, or Chang's spicy chicken, or their infamous Chang's chicken lettuce wraps, which are delicious, by the way. You can enjoy all this while you're dining in an Asian-inspired atmosphere. And make sure to enjoy the new outdoor patio and try some of PF Chang's signature cocktails and drinks during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. PF Chang's La Cantera is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast. All right, well, thank you again for PF Chang's for supporting what we do here. And if you want to go ahead and take a look at everything they have to offer over at PF Chang's, you want to go ahead and check out their signature cocktail collection. And like we always go on and say, I've already tried a handful of these cocktails and they've all been very good. My personal favorite has always been the lychee. I did like the lemon drop, the Mai Tai, your version of the mule. And I think I also had the Long Island iced tea. I've had all those and they've all been very good for $8.99. Can't beat it, man.
Nope.
Make sure you go out there and give some love to Sean. He's the man right here. If you ever go to PF Chang's, ask for Sean Quintero. He'll go ahead and say, I appreciate you for coming out here. Maybe give you a little something.
Yeah, is it Matt Gomez? I'm sorry I missed you, buddy.
Yeah, he went out there. He said he's going to go back again, though.
Yeah. Come on by.
And you know what? We can't forget what happens on Wednesdays. It's Wines Day on Wednesdays. It's going to be coming up there tomorrow. Half off all bottles of wine and champagne every day, all day on Wednesday.
And which you don't finish, you could take home.
Oh,
No,
really?
We don't even have to open them. You take them right with you. I've had some people come in and just get 4 bottles and take off.
That's nice, dude. Especially half price.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Now, don't get me wrong. Half price. Are you still going to pay the same as you would at HEB or the wine store? It's probably going to be just a tad bit more, but it's convenience. You get some dinner and then you get to take some wine home at the same time without making any stops, right?
Yeah. Without making any stops. Hey, you're like, we're telling everybody, you can literally go to where they have the valet parking. You go right there where you go and pull in, and you can go ahead and just pick up your food curbside.
Yeah.
They'll bring everything to you. The bottles of champagne or wine that you want, you get everything to go.
You have curbside, right? Well, people will go up and we have 4 spots. But the thing, here's the crazy thing. People park in them and they leave, and we cannot call to have it towed. The mall will not let us, right? So, people will just pull right up front. They don't say anything. They just get off and get back in. It can be a little much on the weekends, so they just pull up a little further because of valet. But
look at Sean. Yeah. We're sending you more business your way.
There you go.
You need to have your event over at PF Chang's. That was the catalyst for this. because I had my daughter's wedding dinner there. And ever since we had that one event there, it just like started a firestorm. Like everybody's doing these events there. And I got to tell you, I was quite pleased with the way not only Sean did the presentation out there, it was a perfect evening to be out there in the patio, but also the service was great, outstanding. So if you're in a, go ahead and hit up Sean because you need to celebrate your son's high school graduation in May, Sam. Go ahead and do it, dude. You won't regret it.
Yeah, you know, when we went to the Great Moss Inn too, right? We struck up a conversation with one of the owners there, and they have a nice little spot too for graduations. Yeah, and well, they have a room. Remember, they had a room. I think it was the max was 50 though, and I think that's where we found the problem. But they have that outside patio because I was talking to one of my regulars. Her name happens to be Dee Dee as well, where she's having, I guess it's a 50th birthday party for her husband.
Yeah.
And she wants to do poker themed. And I was like, we'll do it here. But, you know, at that point, we wouldn't be able to because of what she wants to do. And it's also 100 people. So that'd be way too many. But, you know, we make that offering. Well, Great Moss Inn. And I think it's important that, you know, different businesses, you know, you sit there you partner up. You know, you do some sort of collaboration and that way you get business from both ends. So, Sam, I mean, we'd love to help you out too, but that's also a great option. Yeah. And it's so secluded and beautiful. It's a great drive.
And the filet mignon was top notch.
It was good.
It was good.
It was good. It was good.
And you know what? We also enjoyed the queso they had there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call them and tell them they got to pay us for this.
For the plug.
Yeah. Hey, we threw your name out there, man. Give us some money.
You know whose name I'm going to throw out there right now, too, because I promised her I would do this. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, if you haven't followed our girl Myra, she's helping us out here with the social media and all that. Make sure you go and follow her.
Yeah, she's doing a good job.
Yeah, so make sure you go and follow Myra, giving her a shout out right here. So go ahead and follow her. She's helping us run the social media for the Area 210. Again, you can follow her at Myra Chronicles. And also, want to go ahead and give some love to Sean. We can't forget about you, Sean.
Yeah. She didn't mention it, so you have to.
I gotta mention you.
I was gonna say that.
We gotta go ahead. I'm gonna tell her.
hey, I'm sure she's listening. I was hurt. I was like, man, I didn't even throw my information out there.
So you can go ahead and follow Sean. Guys, Sean, how many followers do you have? 19.
I look, I don't do social media that much. I really don't, you know. So for me to get on there and post up, it's only because I said I better do something, but I don't know what to do.
So go ahead and follow Sean. Get him to at least 20 followers. You can follow Sean at Sean Q 1977. Make sure you follow him.
I think I'm just gonna start wearing one of those wires while I'm playing golf and just have people follow me that way. Hey, you want to play some golf or you want to watch me hit into the woods?
So Myra helped us out yesterday by giving, like, she made this graphic or this little video for us when we released our shirt design, a new t-shirt. So I'm gonna go ahead and not play the music because it's licensed, but you can see the nice video that she made us to promote the new Crazy Hispanic Fan shirt that we have coming up here. It's already available, so if y'all want to check that out and give us some love, you can go ahead and check us out on our Fourth Wall store there.
Oh, I just got another follower.
There you
go. Look at my phone.
You can see it. It's in effect right now. Hey, I like that background. Dude, I made it for you all.
I'm telling you, like I was showing some people at the bar when we got it. They're like, dude, can you send it to me? I was like, no, man, it was just made for us.
Yeah. Private.
So
go ahead and check out the new design, Crazy Hispanic Fan shirt. It's over at the Fourth Wall store. We'll go ahead and share the link with you guys, but you can go ahead and check this out. And again, you know, just supporting the show, and you can see what the graphic looks like. I like this design better because I just thought that some of the other ones were kind of too generic. So I wanted to add a little something to it. I made it look like an old school basketball card. So if you want to go ahead and support the show, go and check out the new merch.
We got to get a Crying Mike shirt.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, look at there. Now you're at 20. Oh. Thank you, William Van Beckham. He went ahead and followed you.
No, I just got that. I appreciate you.
Oh, and Elias is telling me, get the face paint ready, brother. Yes, I know. I went ahead and consulted with Myra. She said to make sure that I use water-based paint.
Oh, okay.
for the face paint, because I said, what type of paint do I use? And she's like, you want to use water-based because if you use the wrong one, it's gonna give you a reaction. It's gonna be hard to take off.
Oh, Lord.
So I'm like, oh God. So now I gotta find somebody. You know, I do have a friend of mine who's like an artist, and she does these, you know, like really nice facial things, you know, paintings and all that on the face, you know, face painting. Maybe I should have her do something for me. because I have to go ahead and be a man of my word. And I had made a bet with Elias before the season started. And he's like, I bet you the Spurs are going to go to the playoffs. And I said, I bet you they're not. So now that the Spurs are going into the playoffs, I'm going to have to do something where I have to paint my face.
Okay.
Fiesta colors.
So just not even a couple of months ago, you would sit there and say the Spurs won't get past the first round.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. Like, where do you see them going now? Do you see them going past the first round? Is it possible for them to win the championship?
I think it's possible for them to actually win. I wouldn't have said that in the beginning, but now seeing how this team has come together and how well they're playing together, and they're so unselfish with the basketball, and we've seen little shades, right, of what the beautiful game, the way that they pass the ball, and the way that they're so unselfish out there, and Wemby now finally arising to the occasion and being generational. I think this team can go as far as Wemby will take them.
Yeah.
But Wemby has to be amazing in those playoffs in order to carry this team over, because there's going to be games where they're going to go ahead and say, you know what? We want Wemby to go ahead and score 50 points. We're going to stop everybody else. And he's going to have to find ways to get his teammates involved.
Yeah.
At that point, because you know what? He has to understand that even though you are a great talent, you can't win these games all by yourself. No. You need your teammates.
So someone made a comment earlier where they were stating that, at some point with Dylan Harper and the way he's playing, you're going to have to sit there and choose. Is it going to be Harper or is it going to be Fox? I would sit there and say that's coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And you could sit there and say, like, next season. Do you think Harper should start?
I think he should start.
Yeah.
I mean, why mess up a good thing? You have that arguably the best backcourt in the NBA, right? With Harper, Vassell, Castle, Fox. If it works, just keep running with it, man. Make other teams adjust to what you're running, right? You have a quick team out there, even though they're undersized. They bring a lot of speed, athleticism to the game, and the way that they share the ball. Then you have Wemby playing out there as your forward, not a true center. It just works.
Yeah.
And you gotta be able to come out of the gate firing on all cylinders, right? You just don't want to miss a beat. You don't want to fall behind early, especially in the playoffs. And if they can go ahead and just get a lead, right, and just sustain it throughout the entire 4 quarters, especially in the playoffs, that's huge for them because they don't have to work as hard. The team that's behind you, that fell behind early, they have to go ahead and put on all that energy and effort to try to come back in the game. Even if it's 10 or 15 points, that's still, they're expunging a lot of energy. And by the end of the 4th quarter, they're tired, man.
Yeah, Elias over here saying that he's great, but we need someone coming off the bench. And I agree. But at some point, if you're Harper, you're going to want to start, regardless of how humble he sounds and what he's saying, to the media and to us.
Yeah.
At some point he's going to want to be in there, and especially having a taste these last 2 games and doing and putting on a hell of a performance. You could sit there and say all day long that he's okay with it, but you want to play. You want to play the game and you want to start.
Somebody found the crazy lady that was making the racist comments. And there she is. Found. Spurs lady has been found.
Oh my God.
And this is her. Oh, God.
I don't even
Con la binoculars, bro.
That.
Come on. Come on. I mean, I heard the comments. I saw the video. I saw everything. But at the end of the day, it's like, what city do we live in? We're living in San Antonio. What is the population here? Primarily Hispanic.
Yeah.
We're everywhere, bro.
I'll say one thing. I can care less. How one person feels, and I'm not saying her. I'm just saying how one person feels about me or anyone else does not bother me. I just pay attention to me. And I can care less what someone else thinks. And I just go on about my day, going on about my business. I don't stress over stuff. I don't worry about other people.
We're still going to have fun.
I don't have time for that.
The fans are having fun with it. They like the shirts, crazy Hispanic fans.
Yeah.
Thank you for uniting us together. You're going to be even worse in the playoffs.
Play more mariachis at the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Exactly.
They want the money. But no.
It was just, to me, it was humorous. It was funny, dude. Like, I went and traveled, right? So, like I said, on the weekend, I went to go see my daughter. That's why I had to drive, because I had to bring her some things that she had left behind here at the house. I can't bring everything in the back of an SUV, on the plane. So I have to go ahead and load up the SUV and then drive over there. So on the way over there, you pass through Louisiana, you go through Mississippi, Alabama, then you go to Florida. Bro, we're the minorities out there, dude. There ain't a lot of Mexicanos out there, bro. I tell you that right now.
When Kelly first closed down, my mom got transferred to Tinker Air Force Base over in Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
All right. Now you talk about going into a grocery store and just looking around and saying, oh, wow. And this is, I think I was like 18 years old at the time. And then from there, she went to Hill Air Force Base.
Yeah.
And so one day, I go to my family, why don't we just get up and move, sell the home and move to Utah. And so,
jeez,
I'll say this, Utah was great. It was a beautiful place. Not saying you won't be outside, but, let's take, for instance, if you're out and about, your day, you go outside, there's hardly anyone playing. It's just not the same. But out in Utah, everyone's outside.
Yeah.
And go hiking over there.
Oh, it's beautiful, dude.
No, man. We were going further up and further up, right?
Yeah.
And Michelle wanted to keep going. And at one point I was just like, I don't want to keep going because mountain lions, bears. I was like, I don't know what's up there. What am I gonna? I got like one little knife. What am I gonna do?
You ain't outrunning the bear, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna outrun a bear.
I'm faster than Michelle.
No, bro, you're not gonna outrun a bear.
You're not. That's my point. I was like, we got to turn back. No, it was. Crazy.
No me pasa nada.
Yeah.
No, come on.
Oh, hell.
You got to be careful though. I didn't know that out there in Crestview, Florida, they had bears out there, dude, on the trail.
Yeah,
that's something new.
There, when Michelle was also in Biloxi, Mississippi, we went to a little spot and saw little crocodiles and
the gator stuff.
They look at you and they just start coming right at you. They're gonna get me. It's like this little guy.
I want to go back to Louisiana though, because I passed by and I stopped by the visitor center right as I'm coming back to Texas, because I want to go bow fishing, dude. In Louisiana, I want to go in the swamp and I want to do some bow fishing off the airboat there. That'd be cool.
I know a dude that was kicked out of Utah, literally. Oh gosh.
Oh God. Look at what Greg. Oh no.
Oh, I don't do the jackhammer.
That's Michelle, dude.
You stop that right now.
Michelle, she knows that we wanted to do the jackhammer every time we all get together.
So I went golfing yesterday. I was one of my buddies. His name's Tracy. And afterwards we met at the Outback Steakhouse to go have a early dinner, right? And we talked about it there.
Oh God!
And because my daughter didn't know, and so we were just like going. So I showed her the video.
Yeah,
we were just cracking up laughing, saying like, "Oh, we got to make that one of our super chats."
The
like,
jackhammer.
We got to get a better video though.
You were talking. You showed it to Ariel.
I did. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, that baby bump getting bigger.
Oh yeah. No. I got the invitation already. I told her I'll be there. We know when the baby shower's happening. You know what I was talking about the other day when we were celebrating my birthday about a week ago, right? Over at Jen and Alex's house.
Yeah.
I was telling Mike how impressed we were with Alex. I said, dude, we put on Vanilla Ice Baby.
I think I put it on.
You put it on.
I put it on.
And I said, our boy just ran with it, dude. We're like, he just killed it, dude.
I started trying to sing and he was going right behind me. I was like, okay, obviously you know these words and I don't. So he killed it, man. He did a phenomenal job with that. I was really impressed. We should have broke out the phone and started recording it, but
I was like, "Mira, Alex."
I think I was so shell shocked. I didn't even think about that. I was like, dang,
I think we found Alex's new karaoke song, bro.
Man, I'm telling you, we had to get him out there with who is it? Mexican Junior who likes to get out there and sing.
Get out there and sing.
The 21st passed, and it was Matthew Broderick's birthday.
Oh yeah.
So I was asking a group of friends, like, what are your top 3 movies with Matthew Broderick?
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
Right. Godzilla.
Oh my. Mine was Flight of the Navigator.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
War Games.
Yeah.
And Glory.
Glory, man.
Dude, one of the best war movies of all time. Are you kidding me?
But that movie had me in shambles, bro, because we made us watch that when we were in high school, right? And you see them and they're getting through that line, and they're in the fort and everything. Yeah. And they come around that corner.
Cannons.
Boom.
Movie's over.
That's the end.
Oh man, but when you have Morgan Freeman and and Denzel Washington, Matthew Broderick. I mean, come on, all-star cast.
Oh God,
you
they're
kidding
saying
me?
that we buried another super chat. No, I'm sorry, I'm getting to it.
Oh yeah.
Here comes the money.
And there we go, Jason Garcia. We're getting to the $4.99 super chat. He says the camera angle that Mike's that makes his head look like an Easter Island statue.
Someone bury him in the sand.
And
Just
Jason
his head
said,
sticking up.
Jason said that Mike has big nostrils.
He did. Is that what you were laughing at? Because I saw that and started laughing too.
He said Mike has big nostrils. I was like, no, bro. They said, look at Matthew Broderick wasn't in Flight of the Navigator. His wife was.
Oh, is that who it
Sarah
was?
Jessica Parker was in there.
Damn it.
Not him.
Sean and his country voice. Oh, did
Who
you show her?
said
Did
that?
you show her videos, or you told her what I was singing?
Who, Myra?
Yeah, better lock the doors.
I did send her a video,
Oh my
and she said,
gosh.
"Mira, Sean." She goes, "Sean's pretty good."
Oh,
She said you
Lord.
had a good.
She said you had a good voice. I did.
Obviously, you did.
I already sent one video, Sean. One video.
Guys, if y'all want a video, just hit me up. I'll give you my number.
Let me fix it. Oh, God. Let me add the.
Kick me off too.
No, the thing did it. You know what it is? I need.
The cable guy. That was really nothing.
Oh yeah, the cable guy. No, but a cable pop. It wasn't the cable. It's this audio interface that I have. I got the new one right there. I just need to switch them out.
I think movies like War Games, what was it? Real.
There, I fixed the audio too.
Those type of movies were just really good back in the days. No, you don't need all those special effects and stuff. Movies are so
Yeah,
crazy.
I
now.
fixed it, Myra. She says, "Sound is way off." I fixed it.
They said Sean has cheap internet. It ain't my internet.
It's not the internet.
It ain't my internet.
It's the audio
Thanks, Tony.
interface. It's the audio interface. It messed up, but I got it fixed again. It's working now, so we're good. We should be
I
good.
got AT&T.
Yeah. War Games 80s was the best. And Myra says it's better now. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's gonna tell me afterwards about your voice again.
Oh,
She said you
Lord.
had a good voice.
Okay.
What's wrong? You had a good voice, bro. We were making fun
can't-
of you.
I need to learn. Okay, so for those that don't know, when we did this karaoke, like I didn't practice, and Joe didn't need the words to the song.
Oh yeah, I don't need
Like he basically played the song and no words, right? So obviously someone did some practicing for quite
well,
some
I
time.
listened to these songs.
Okay. What I don't know all the words to every song that I hear. And so like we have to read and try and like, how does this one go? Like, man, not one word you use. And I'm over here, I gotta read too. I
Yeah.
was like, come on now.
Look at Myra says not him being embarrassed.
Oh, I'm embarrassed.
You sang good, bro. You did a good job.
Like I said, I don't think I can hold a tune that well, but I'll still do it.
No, you did pretty
I'll
good.
be like Cameron Diaz. What did I say at my best friend's wedding? I'll make a fool of myself.
No, you did good. We had a good time. We had a good time during the birthday celebration.
Too late, Tony. Damage is done, buddy.
What do you say?
No, he was talking about my internet. I was like, it ain't mine.
No, it wasn't his. It's the audio interface that I have here. It's
See, it's
been
on.
way overdue. I need to switch them out already, dude. I bought the new one. That's the one that we're using over there at the
Mhm.
karaoke for the birthday.
Oh yeah.
They need to switch it
But
out,
that was a hell of a setup, man.
right?
I mean,
You can't go
really.
back no more.
No,
you can't go back no more.
We usually just grab a microphone and look at the TV
Yeah.
because we have to look at the words.
Yeah, and now you had the little tablet there. You had the little stand for the microphone and everything. It was pro.
We couldn't get these working. We just couldn't get the
Yeah.
the
But
head.
I'm gonna have to bring the headphone amplifier because that'll get it to work, and then we can go ahead and then you'll be able to hear yourself. But it was good. It was fun. We're gonna do that when we go to the beach, right, in June. That's coming up here. So I'm on my health kick because I got to get my beach body ready now.
Yeah, I need
Gotta
to go
drop
ahead
some
and
weight.
Request that time off already.
Now you got to do that because it's already been paid for.
Mhm.
Everything's been paid for already. We just got to show up. Remember, it was June 13th, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah. And then, I got to get ready. Man, guys, I got to get ready to do some golfing now. I've never golfed before. So I'm feeling the pressure from Sean and Frank Harris. Everybody wants us to start golfing. So me and Alex now are going to start getting into golf. He has clubs.
So Alex got some clubs through a buddy of mine some time ago. I think I gave him a putter, or maybe he gave him the putter as well. I know I gave Alex quite a bit of stuff, and for Christmas too, I had got him a bunch of items golf related.
Yeah.
So he just hasn't used it. Now he goes up front and he'll work on his swing, he says, and I gave him like a little putting mat and he'll sit there and practice that as well. But you just gotta get out there. I Frank says, come on out, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it
No,
out.
man, that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. You just don't figure it out. Like, I'm sure Frank has gone to a driving range and probably taken some lessons. Like, he's an athlete.
Me and Alex got to take some lessons. We got to do something.
He's a current athlete, meaning, like, you can't get a guy that, stopped playing ball like 20 years ago and sit there and say, all right, pick this up. You'll do well.
Look at Matt Gomez. He brings up something good, bro. A golf tournament. I'm down. You see?
Okay.
I think a lot of people in the chat golf.
Okay. What did I tell you the other day? I sent it out that we should sit there and set one up, a golf tournament for charity. And as a matter of fact, I was speaking with someone because they just did their own.
Yeah.
And all you do, you go to the clubhouses, talk to the pro shop people, and just let them know, hey, I want to get one going. They'll give you the dates. They'll tell you what you need to do. At that point, you just start finding sponsors for certain holes. Sit there and see, do you just want to put a banner? Do you want to actually be out there in the event? You find a good charitable cause, and then you just run it. Now, it'll take some time putting it together. You want to give yourself quite a bit of time to do it, but at the same time, it's a lot of work putting one together.
I got to work myself up to that, right?
Yeah.
So me and Alex got to get on the ball, man. That's like, Alex, I'm going to have to go and buy some clubs that are things that you're just going to beat to hell.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So for those who golf, who wants to see a tournament like this? Instead of doing a 4-man team, you do a 2-man team. And that way you play with other people and there will be less cheating. I'm telling you.
Less
Man,
cheating.
you get out there. Have you ever seen some of the scores
dude.
that these guys post when they're sitting there? They're like, I shot a 52 or 54. It's like, whatever, bro. Come on. Like, I know we shot true in one where we gave ourselves, I think it was no mulligans, and it was 4 people, and we were 10 under for the whole round. And you're talking about really good golfers playing there. And some other people are posting up some crazy scores. And I've played in some where true scores and we shot 6 over or 8 over, and again, that's just, using mulligans too. When you stay true to your score, like these people won't. In golf tournament, they just sit there and say, what are the prizes? I want it.
All right. Hey, we're gonna have to go ahead and tell people, do you want to join Team Joe, who's gonna be my partner? Right?
You and Frank, because you'll just figure it out. You'll figure it out, man.
Me and Frank we're gonna have a good time.
I'll take Alex. I'll take Alex. I do need to get out there and play golf with him, but he doesn't play. He likes to play on the weekends. It's very rare where he'll do it on the weekdays, and I play a lot on the weekdays. I just don't like how busy it is on the weekends.
Yeah, and look at that. Matt Gomez is saying I can get SAFC involved if you want to make an Area 2-0 tournament. There you go, dude.
Yes,
absolutely, dude. That would be great.
I was actually looking at the schedule for them to sit there and see if there's something that's going to match up as far as time off, because I really want to get out there to a game. And it's just like we were down to 2 managers, for some time, and we just had one start 2 days ago. So thank God, man, because I need some time off. It's been crazy at work. When you're down to 2 working on the hospitality side of it, it can be a lot.
It can be a bit much. Yeah,
it can be a bit much.
But we'll go ahead and make some time to go to an SAFC game. We're going to take the whole crew, round them all up, and we go out there and have fun. Meet the Necios before the game. Go and have a couple beers, hang out, talk some sports, and then cross the street, go to the stadium.
Yeah.
Toyota Field. It's going to be good times.
What we need to do is start planning this draft party already.
Oh, yeah, that we need to do now. We need to do it now. I got to get some things bought for that draft party.
Oh, yeah, and then I got someone that wants to hit you up on something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
my daughter for her baby shower.
All right.
So they say, have Joe make some stuff. I was like, you ask him.
Yeah, I'll do it. For Ariel, I'll do it.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll do anything for Ariel. We have her chifla. I got to go to Costco and buy her that big old thing of Pampers and wipes and all that for the baby shower.
Like Matt Gomez says, he played in high school.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Then you're
Played in
probably
high school.
pretty
That means
good.
you get-
I never took any lessons, anything like that. That's why people that have played like 3 years can go out there and beat me.
Yeah. And they sent us some stuff, I guess, here in the video. All right. So it looks like we got some things here coming in from Matt Gomez here.
Oh, let's see it.
Via the media share. So I'll go ahead and show it right now. He was showing us this graphic for SAFC versus New Mexico. SAFC won, and then he was showing us this video.
Beating the drum.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's what a real chant sounds like.
I went to.
That's what happens when everybody's in tune.
I went to a couple games last year, but I went with a buddy of mine, and so usually like getting there, like trying to run in so you can get in right on time.
Yeah,
and getting those. All we have are XXX shirts left.
Really, that's it. Damn.
Get whatever they have left because they already given everything else out.
Yeah, we need to go ahead and as we bring this show to an end, give some love to the Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio. They are also another proud sponsor of the Area 210. The Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio is Riverwalk dining at its best. With great scenic views along with its amazing collection of rock memorabilia, there is something for everyone. Enjoy happy hour weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. with $8 and $10 appetizers, $5 domestic drafts, and $6 craft import drafts at the bar only. Try some of the Hard Rock Cafe's legendary steak burgers, or my personal favorite, such as the grilled salmon or baby back ribs. Make sure to visit the third level and enjoy the DJ as you take in the city skyline. The Hard Rock Cafe is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast. All right, well, thank you again to the Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio for being a proud sponsor of the Area 210. If you ever go out there, it's nestled right in the heart of downtown San Antonio. If you haven't been to the Hard Rock Cafe, maybe it's time you go. They have a great second level that we host our event at last time. Great views of the Riverwalk, great food. Staff was amazing. Can't say enough good things. And thank you to everybody that came out and make the event a success. We look forward to doing this again with you guys for the NFL draft. So we're going to go ahead and start getting the graphic and plugging everything and start promoting that as well, because the sooner we start, the better the turnout.
That's right.
So we're going to go ahead and get things going for you guys. Again, make sure you come out and support us, and also support the Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio, and also support Sean over here at PF Chang's. They do a great job, and that's going to be specifically the La Cantera location.
That's right. That's right. Spurs take on Memphis tomorrow at 7 p.m. Tune in.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about that as well. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and call it a day. We'll see you all tomorrow. Miguelito will be in studio, he says, on Wednesday.
That's tomorrow.
That's what he says. So we're going to find out if he's going to. How is he going to be able to get on the plane, get over there to Houston, and then drive over here? $10 says he doesn't show up in studio.
Well, don't call me this time.
Oh, he's going to be like, call Sean.
No. I got to get a haircut.
All right. We'll go ahead and see you boys tomorrow. Enjoy your day. We're out. Peace.
Peace.